And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
The Chinese government is still struggling to contain a coronavirus outbreak that has killed at least 26 people and infected over 900 more. Officials today expanded a travel ban to block the movements of tens of millions in central China. New cases have now appeared in Europe and in 6 other countries, and a second U.S. case was confirmed today. William Brangham has the latest.
Hospitals in the city of Wuhan, China, the center of this outbreak, are jammed to capacity. Medical teams are working overtime, dealing with a rush of people worried they're infected with this new coronavirus. Hospitals here have issued urgent pleas for additional help and supplies. With the official death toll doubling overnight and hundreds of new cases emerging, Chinese officials have now expanded their travel ban beyond the 11 million in Wuhan into 12 surrounding towns. That's about 35 million people, roughly the population of Canada, on semi-lockdown.
Restricting train and air travel.
Tom Boyke is the director of the Global Health Program at the Council on Foreign Relations and author of Plagues and the Paradox of Progress.
The history of these kinds of travel bans isn't positive. Generally speaking, these travel bans are seen as not that effective. What they often do is cause people not to report their illness and try to circumvent government and public health officials, and that makes it more likely that the disease will spread.
Chinese state media released this video of a massive hospital being built, claiming it'll be up and running in a stunning 6 days' time. While Chinese health officials have shared genetic and diagnostic information about this virus, the country's response to the SARS outbreak 17 years ago, where the true scale of the outbreak was hidden for months, leads some to worry that Chinese officials still aren't being fully transparent today.
Concealment is an essential aspect of epidemics of time immemorial.
Howard Markel is a medical historian and author of, among other books, Quarantine and When Germs Travel.
Most places don't like to admit they have a raging infection, largely because they fear a quarantine that would close their ports, would close their commerce, would close the flow of money. And the SARS epidemic, which wasn't even a major epidemic, cost the world economy at least $40 billion. So we're talking about real dollars and cents.
The initial outbreak in China has now spread to at least 6 other countries, including France and the U.S. The Centers for Disease Control confirmed a second U.S. case today, a Chicago woman in her 60s who'd recently traveled to Wuhan. A man in his 30s in Washington state is also infected, but now stable. The CDC says they're investigating at least 63 others in 22 states. The 5 U.S. airports that are receiving people from affected regions in China are now screening passengers for fevers. The 2 current U.S. cases arrived before screenings were in place. As China continues to grapple with this outbreak, major questions still need answering. Just how contagious is this virus? And how lethal? Howard Markel says until those questions are answered, banning travel for millions might be counterproductive to stop a virus that spreads but perhaps isn't that deadly.
Well, I think the most concerning thing is this massive quarantine of over 35 million people, the largest quarantine ever undertaken in human history. So you would not use the atomic bomb of public health tools, the quarantine, in the manner that China has done, for something that may be quite contagious, that might spread, but doesn't cause death.
Tom Boyke says this novel virus in China is not yet cause for alarm for Americans. There are plenty of other viruses right here to worry about.
We're in the midst of a terrible flu season. There's a vaccine that people can actually do something about. If viewers want to be nervous or scared at home about how to protect themselves from diseases, this new novel virus is still pretty far down the list in terms of what they should be doing something about.